Hey everybody, welcome to the War Room. Give you a quick tour here. We're shooting a lot of videos in here. Here's the rig, all sorts of medicine balls over there, plates, sandbags. We've got some climbing ropes, as you can see, ski machine. Here's where we do our handstand push-ups and wall walks, different things like that. That's why we have the plexiglass. We shoot wall balls up here. You'll see that at some point. A couple rowing machines. Hard to show you the whole thing here with this perspective. Dumbbells over here, here's where we write the workouts. Pegboards, you can see some rings up there, a couple of bikes, the 4-person worm, platforms right there, where we do a lot of our work as well. And today, what we're gonna be looking at here is the back squat. I'm gonna show you a couple things with this, so that when you actually get to a gym, you feel somewhat comfortable with it, okay? And so for our first piece today is I want you to think about safety, all right? And what I mean by that is when you're getting in the squat rack, when you're getting out of the squat rack, how do you set it down if you get into a bad position? How do you just make sure that you're not gonna hurt yourself when you do the back squat, okay? We're also gonna look at, should you be a low bar or a high bar back squat person? Should you do how many certain reps, how many certain sets in a given day on your back squat? Just a lot of general things about the squat and kind of how to approach it. So you've got good and warm and you're ready to start to get into the squat rack. Now you've got your J-cups right here. They're different at every gym. They're gonna be adjustable based on your height. You would never want these to be too high where you have to get up on your toes to get up underneath there. You'd rather that be lower so you can get under and comfortably find the bar on your neck, okay? Most bars are going to have knurling that's going to kind of show you where you should set up and make sure that the bar is square on your back. I've seen a lot of squatters and it's not equal on both sides, and then they run into problems with that. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're getting both sides a good equal balance. So what I generally do is I'll put my thumbs here where the knurling starts. I will spread my fingers out to this position right here. And that's where I like to keep my hands, okay? So I can keep my elbows nice and tight, keep a lot of torque on the bar as I have it on my back. You're gonna find a couple different bar positions. The high bar, where the bar will sit way up here, above the top of your spine. And you'll also find another one where it kind of rests on the shelf that's created on your upper back, and that's called low bar. So I'll show you the difference between the two real quick. If I were to look at a high bar, it would be right up here. You can see this positioning right here. This is a high bar position. If I show you the low bar, you can see the low bar is going to be way down here, okay, on this shelf right here. This would be the low bar position. Now, if you're thinking about what's best for you, generally people that have the high bar position on the top of their neck, they're a little bit more quad dominant. They're stronger with their quads on the front side of their body. People that like the low bar position are generally a little bit stronger on the posterior side. Personal preference, I've been a high bar squatter at times, been low bar at times. Depends on what helps you to get the best squat depth is how I would recommend that for you, okay? If you're really tall, you're probably gonna like the low bar. It's gonna help you to kind of keep your chest up a little bit and hit that maximal depth where our hip crease gets below our knees right here, and we're able to keep that chest up. We're able to keep the full foot on the ground. So low bar is gonna be better for most people probably. But you're gonna have to see what works best for you. You're gonna feel like you're losing the bar at times, and so that's one of the tricky points with that. When I get the bar positioned and it's set up for my right height, so I can get underneath it, here's how I would approach that. So I get myself set up, find my finger position, step underneath, my hands in, and then find my position. If I'm high bar, again it's right here, standing up, step, step, get my feet adjusted, and now I'll be ready to squat. Okay? When I move back to put the bar in, step, step, find my position right here. I want to make sure that I'm always looking into the squat rack. Here's the danger with this. If I were to get in this way and squat out here, it's not that bad this way, but when I finish my set and I want to put the bar away, now it becomes tough because I can't see where it's at. Okay? That's where you can get into some dangerous positions. We want to make sure we keep your hands in. I have seen hands that get trapped and smashed right here below the bar into the J-cup. So try to keep the hands in. The positioning for the low bar position when I get in here, I want to make sure that I've got myself set up. The bar is where I want it. I've got my elbows in, and I'm up, step, step, Get my feet right, now I'm ready to squat. Okay? Low bar positioning right there. So that's getting in, keeping your hands in, finding that positioning, keeping your elbows in, squeezing that bar. That's gonna create torque throughout your core, throughout your shoulders. It's gonna give you a little bit more power as you squat. So try to keep that in tight. Buddy, try to keep that in tight if you can, okay? Next thing is, once you step away and you've taken those 2 steps, get your feet set, get comfortable. Make sure that you got to the position where, okay, I feel good. We wanna make sure, like we talked about in the air squat video, that you're not, feet directly underneath you like this in a narrow stance. We wanna make sure that we're not really wide out here either in a sumo stance. So get your feet right. Toes slightly pointed out at that 12 to 15 degree mark. You can see right here, my toes are slightly pointed out here. That's gonna give me a little bit of relief from the knees, where when I squat like this gets really hard in the knees. So give yourself a little bit of relaxation here with the toes slightly pointed out, okay? Like we talked about earlier, big toe, little toe, heel into the ground. Fasten that in, anchor that in. Think about creating tension as you squat. Load the bar up in a position where it's gonna be challenging for you and it's gonna push you, but yet you can learn, you can be safe with it, okay? So get into the next position. How many sets, how many reps should I do? When you start out, should you do 5 sets of 5, 10 sets of 3, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2? There's a lot of flexibility in how you approach that. If you start, I would generally recommend, after you get warmed up, somewhere around 25 to 30 reps is a pretty good number. And you notice here, this is 25 reps, 5 sets 5, 10 sets of 3, 30 reps. The 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 30 reps right there. This is gonna give us a chance to go up in weight each set. So it could be 10 at a lighter weight, 8 at a little heavier weight, and then 6 at a little heavier. So we can take these little steps that kind of help to see where we're at, how much we can move in a safe environment, and we can push ourselves. The 10 sets of 3 is really nice. I like that because once you're good and warm, you can get to the point where maybe you start at, here's just an example, maybe I start at 75 pounds for the first set, and then I go to 95 for the second, 115 for the third, 135 for the fourth. I can take these nice steps, and I can get up to a point where I'm at 80, 90% of my max. If I knew my max was 200 pounds, I could get up there into that 160, 180 pound range, and I could really be pushing myself in an environment that's tough, it's challenging, but yet I know I can move that load. Okay, I know it's below my squat max, it's not at the max level, but yet it's gonna be challenging for me to do 3 reps each time, okay, at that 80, 90% marker. Just starting out though, again, you gotta kind of figure out who you are, how much you can move safely with good form, and not be in a real rush to move a ton of weight. Okay, so again, it's just building up that good form. Feeling comfortable with this, the bar sitting on the top of your neck in a high bar, or sitting in your bar, your back in a low bar, either way, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, and it's gonna be like that for quite a while. It's gonna challenge you, and it's gonna take some time, so lots of practice with that. When we squat, we wanna make sure that the bar is lined up over the midline of our foot, okay? So I'll try to give you a little bit of an angle here as I step back. I'll twist a little bit so you can see that. I'm gonna use the low bar. And in this case, if I was actually gonna set to do a squat set of 3, here's what it would look like. Get good and ready. Put my hands right. Get comfortable with the bar. Get it on that shelf right there. Squeeze and keep that tension in that back right there. Step, step. And then for you, I'm gonna twist. I'm gonna come over here. Hopefully you can see this. I'm gonna try to keep my eyes up, my chest up, my hips are underneath me. When I start the squat right here, I'm gonna push my hips out. I'm gonna create that traction right there. Big toe, little toe, heel into the ground. My hips reach just below where my knee's at, and that's 1. That's 2. Trying to drive my knees out over the toes. And that's 3 right there. Okay, when I'm done, I'd be squared up right here if I was just finishing. Step, step, find that bar, and step away, okay? At the school, or at most gyms, you're gonna have a safety bar right here. You'd wanna set that up so that in case you failed a set and you were going down and you were gonna make it, you could fall, and then these safety bars right here would catch the bar for you so you could get out of the way. You wanna have that set up where it's not gonna impede your squat depth, but it's gonna provide you with some safety knowing that if you don't get the rep, you're gonna have some backup, okay? You can also use a spotter or 2 spotters. You could have somebody right here, and they could be watching the bar,
And at the moment they see you going down, they could stop the bar, and that person could as well, and they can help you move it back up, okay? Third person could be behind you right here, giving you support around your back right here, helping make sure that you're in a safe position. Austin, come here, kid. Hey, hey. Whoa! Woo! Barely caught that one. Luckily, we're at the end of the video right here. And for us today, again, we talked about safety, things to think about as you're squatting. We talked a little bit about how much weight you should use, which again is just a comfortable amount right away as you're building up. We want to be progressively challenged. So again, doing things like this here at the bottom, the 5x5, the 10x3, the 10, the 8, the 6, 4, 2, they're going to allow us to move up in weight as we go. That's our goal. We want to make sure that we're not stuck at a certain place. So if we're always doing 5 sets of 5 repetitions at 95 pounds, we're never really going to push that next level strength that we're trying to get, okay? We're going to want to do 5 sets of 5 at 95 today. Next time, let's try 5 sets of 5 at 105, or 5 sets of 5 at 115. Okay, that allows us to kind of see where we're at as we're progressing. It's good to switch this up, switch your scheme up. The number of reps you do, the sets and the reps that you do, the scheme has to switch up to keep your body guessing, okay? We want to challenge, hey. We want to challenge you, and we want to keep you growing. So that's why I like to throw a lot of different things at you when you squat. Ultimately though, we want to make sure that your depth is good, you're able to keep the chest up, the feet on the ground, the knees tracking out over the toes. Those things are really important to us. So it's building your form, it's keeping your form moving in a solid direction. As we add more weight, that stimulus is helping you to grow, to help you to get stronger, faster, take care of your body, okay? We also looked at making sure we have the safety, the catch bars here in place if we had them here, or having a spotter, making sure that we're getting in, out of the squat rack, facing in. Those are all very important cues today. If you have questions, feel free to email me, send me a note. I'll put another video together or do whatever it takes to help you get to your best you. Thanks, everybody.